In the online video game Legendary Age, Hideki Nishimura, whose in-game name is Rujin, receives a marriage proposal from his guildmate Eiko, who has been persistently asking him out. Along with their guildmates, Schwan and Apricot, they are members of the Alley Cats Guild. In the real world, Hideki is just an ordinary high school student who openly expresses otaku behavior amongst his friends, leading to regular disapproval by classmate Akane Segawa. Eventually, in-game, Rujin ultimately accepts Eiko's proposal, and he reveals to his guildmates that his hesitation this whole time stemmed from him previously proposing to another female character named Nekoheim, only for the Nekoheim to turn him down and confess to be a crossplayer, a guy playing a girl. Regardless, Apricot organizes a real-life meeting of the guild members as none of them have ever met before in real life. Surprisingly, Hideki is shocked when he finds out that Ako is actually a real girl named Ako Tamaki. Even more surprising are Apricot and Schwein's real identities, whom are both Student Council President Kayo and Akane, respectively. While the members formally introduce their real-life selves and share their common dislike for normies, also known as nun-gamers, Hideki is still in disbelief at Aiko's true beauty in contrast to her actual in-game appearance. Hideki then apologizes for assuming his guildmates were all guys, and luckily, they still all look forward to seeing each other at school, although Akane and Hideki agree to keep their real life apart from their game life and interact like they usually do at school. On Legendary Age, Hideki begins to picture Schwein and Apricot as their real-life girl counterparts. The next day, Ako visits but casually calls Hideki by his online alias Rujin and declares that she is his wife, catching the other students' attention. Hideki and Akane pull Ako aside and try several ways to explain that their school life and game life are supposed to be separate. However, Ako perceives this as them not wanting to be her friend. Kyo organizes a net game club and recruits Hideki, Akane, and Ako. The club's purpose is to enable Ako to play with her guildmates under the same building to demonstrate the coexistence of her real and gaming friends. Later that day, Rujin surprisingly meets Nekoheim in the game. Eventually, their homeroom teacher, Sato, tells Hideki that Ako has been attending school more often and opening up a little more, all thanks to him, so she tasks him to watch over her. Meanwhile, as the Net Game Club finishes another gaming session, Akane dotes on how the club's activities have blurred the distinction between fantasy and reality for Ako even more. Regardless, the club has a limited time to find a faculty advisor, or else they'll be forced to be disbanded. Afterwards, after Rujin consults Nekoheim for advice, Hideki tries his luck to reassure Ako of the distinction, only to later have an overly jealous Echo stalk Rujin in the game talking to Nekoheim. Eventually, Eiko stops going to school again, but later appears at the guild hub telling the other players that she is going to have an offline meeting with an unknown stranger. As such, Akane and Kyo confront Hideki to try and stop Eiko, as Hideki admits that spending time with the real Ako has made him develop feelings for her outside the game. Hideki then runs to the supposed meeting place to persuade Ako to not meet the person, but then Sato shows up. Hideki then discovers Sato is actually Nekoheim, so Kyo recruits Sato to be the club's new advisor. Oh, how the turntables. As days pass, Hideki notices Eiko's usual behavior getting even worse, and the club members start sympathizing with her, so Miss Sato proposes to shut down the club and to quit gaming for the remaining school term, to which Kyo threatens her again with her Nekoheim accent. Shortly after, under Kyo's persuasion, the players try their luck with Legendary Age's Mystery Box feature, to which Eiko's pulls yield underwhelming luck. After getting geishaed, Hideki cheers her up with popsicles, but Eiko is in distress the following day as rumors about her and Hideki's relationship begin to surface and starts becoming a center of attention to other girls. Meanwhile, as Hideki seeks advice from his fellow players about it, Akane's friend, Nanako Akiyama, walks inside the club room, and Akane becomes shaken as Nanako questions her about the club and what exactly is she doing there. After frantically covering up for herself, Akane is left in despair after shoving her friend out the door. Meanwhile, in the game, as they are waiting for Schwein and Master, Rujin and Eiko explore the sights and briefly crosses paths with Nekoheim and her crazy fanatic guild. After saving a newbie player named Set, she learns the basics of the game from Rujin while triggering Eiko's jealousy. As Akane is in high spirits, the next day for having Nanako keep her gaming secret, Alley Cats prepares for another quest as Set finds Rujin and runs into his guild again. As Rujin explains to the guild that Set is a brand new player, Schwein offers to teach her, to which she playfully declines. The next day, as Eiko suggests that the club should play a different game instead, Kaio's searches result in them playing the shooter game, Ultra Force, using Eiko's hatred of normies to smite targets with exceptional skill. After an all-night Ultra Force gaming session, a sleep-deprived Hideki finds Eiko exhibiting behavior similar to the game, while Nanako questions them on their whereabouts within Legendary Age. Later, Hideki and the others soon realize her identity is actually set within the game, and while a dazed Akane rocks back and forth, a frustrated Eiko storms off after Nanako clarifies her in-game marriage as her perception of a way to take Hideki away from her. After no signs of communication with Eiko in the real world, Hideki decides to talk to Akko inside the game, where she reveals her intention of maxing out her level and reincarnating as a different character, like a true gamer. Now completely devoted to playing Legendary Age, Akko has blocked the in-game chat as well, leaving Hideki to bring back Akko on his own. Deciding to confront Akko at her house, Eiko's mom gives Hideki the key to her room, where he helps her max out her character. Staying at her house overnight, Rujin and Eiko confront their fellow players in the morning with Hideki, intending to drop out of school like Akko. And while Eiko goes against it, he states that the players will miss her as much as they do him. Now knowing how she really feels and empathizing with her struggle with reality, Hideki convinces Eiko to come back to school again, standing by her side all the way. As Rujin shares a story about Yuan, a crossplay marrying player he met during his solo playing days, he struggles to get his feelings of affection across to Eiko outside the game. As Nanako tries to help her adjust to real-life conventions, the group helps Set with a job promotion quest and is now a summoner, able to call upon pets as supporting party members. Despite the easygoing attitude of the group, Nanako mentions the final exams are coming up, leading Kyo to announce a temporary suspension of club activities until exams are over. When Hideki questions Eiko about her previous test scores, which are all below passing, Hideki and the other guild members pull through to help her study within the game, to which everyone passes, including Akko. While an exhausted Akko logs off to rest, Rujin has an honest conversation with Schwein and Master about how to confess to Akko, to which none of them have any real love experience to really help much. Nevertheless, they still think of ways for Hideki to confess, and as Hideki and Eiko have an afternoon stroll while talking about the upcoming training camp, they have a stop at the park, where their methods are revealed as extremely vague and lackluster. Despite this, Hideki gathers his courage and asks Eiko to be his real girlfriend, and much to his shock, she declines the proposal. After Kyo and Akane do a comical dance to console Hideki, Akane calls out Akko, revealing that her in-game wife mentality was the reason for her declining. Wait, what? Regardless, the Alley Cat summer vacation training camp has finally started, and Kyo has a few surprises to help Akko better understand the real world whilst helping connect her and Hideki's relationship. After enjoying Kyo's private beach and villa for a couple hours, Miss Sato gets angered that the group isn't using the most of their youth because she's a boomer and demands they all hang out together for the rest of the day. Night falls and Kyo sets up a special line of fireworks where Hideki then pronounces his love to Akko on the villa steps. But even with Eiko accepting and pronouncing hers, she still sees their relationship as husband and wife. To no avail, Kyo sees the vacation as a failure, and thus sets up another one at Hotel Flores, a hotel revealed to be collaborating with Legendary Age. As such, the group then spends most of the day going on code quests that give the player items when they purchase stuff from different areas in the hotel. Around midday, Hideki returns to his hotel room and starts up Legendary Age with Eiko, where she then invites Hideki to her room via the game. As he randomly logs out and logs back in, Eiko suggests that they should engage in a couple's chat, yet something doesn't seem right about the newly logged in Rujin.